keeping track of the laps for the competitors. They have this in 10,000 meter running races on the track, and then also 10,000 meter race walk. There's a whole team that sort of keeps track of who is on what lap. There's a warning for
Talia Green a moment ago with a big negative split. She's been 203 almost consistently since this race began. She split 201 on that.
I don't know if that was a warning for Kaylee Lindsay or it was for Orlando. That is Lindsay, who's just sort of moved ahead of Orlando. Kaylee Lindsay competing for the Elgin Sharks Track Club. That's her right there, middle of the screen. Just passing the 200 meter mark on the back straightaway. She hails from Elgin, Illinois, as the Elgin Sharks Track Club would give some indication of that. Again, no 10,000 meter mark for her. This is potentially her first go at this distance. She also competed in that Penn Relays 5,000 meter race walk, where she finished second amongst the girls there in 27:25 earlier this year, back in April. She was the AAU indoor national champion over 3,000 meters. She's only 14 years old in 8th grade, so a youth age competitor. Back to our absolute leader on the track, Johnny Jurchen. And Jurchen starting to roll now, clocking 155, 157, 156. He's sort of settled into this sort of rhythm.
She's completed 11 laps now. 11 laps, 14 to go for Green.
So that was a 156. So when we follow Jurchen around the track here, he will, on the back straightaway, he's going to actually reach the halfway point of the race. The 5,000 meter mark will come up when he hits the 200 meter start on the back straightaway. So we will be exactly halfway through the 10,000 meter distance.
But it looks like Durantes has entered the timeout box where he'll have to sit for a minute.
Just coming up on 24 minutes, so we're roughly on 48 minute pace for Jurchen. Back to Talia Green now. Green about to lap Kaylee Lindsay. So we didn't see him, but he probably went by the 5,000 meter time check. Johnny Jurchen did in just a touch over 24 minutes, so we're kind of on target for about a 48 and a bit time. Green, the absolute leader of the women and the girls on the track at this point. Another lap for Green. That was a 2:05, so she's been pretty steady and consistent right in that zone, 2:03 to 2:05 every lap.
Seeing some overlap now with Jurchen. He is in the lead, although he just passed Durantes.
It's Joshua Rothery that Green just passed. He is in the boys and the men's 10,000 meter race combined. He was or still is, even though he's been passed by Green, he's currently sitting in 4th place. certain countries around the world take the race walking very seriously. In the Latin countries, Spain, Mexico, the great race walkers from those countries are revered, as well as some of the Eastern European countries as well. They take the race walking in those parts of the world very seriously.
Green competed in the 20K race walk in the 2024 Olympic trials. She finished 8th in that competition.
Back to Talia Green.
Really impressive for this rising sophomore at CMS in California. Talia race walks. She also runs cross country and track and fields. Part of the Arenas conference winning championship.
Green very smooth. Just maintaining that nice form. She has impeccable form. That's why I was surprised last year that she had such problems with the form last year and suffered a DQ.
And Jerkin on the under 20 men coming through with a 11. That would be a good time to give you your lineup on the boys side and men's side. Men's side, Jerkin leading the under 20, with Durantes currently in second, and Gavin Luttrell in third. And that's for the men's under 20 race. Rowan McDonald leading on the boys championship side, followed by Joshua Rockery and Matthew Wabacker.
And for the women, it is Sonia Green out in front, leading the U20 Women's Championships. Julia Lindsay, Chicagoland runner, currently in second position. And then it's Natalie Grant in third. Only about 30 seconds.
So Green passed the halfway mark as well, getting deep into this 10,000 meter full distance. Back to Jurchen now. So the top three, Jurchen, who you see on camera right now, he is leading. And he's got over a 30-second lead on Rowan McDonald and David Durantes. And Jurchen about to lap Green here. And again, you can see the difference in the form. I was talking about it earlier. Jurchen a little stiffer, more angular in terms of his approach to the race walking technique, whereas Green a little smoother and a bit more flow, sort of evenly over the ground.
And Jurgen leading the way for the under 20 men's group.
Focus there on Kaylee Lindsay. Lindsay and Anish Patel, the two youngest competitors in the competition. That's Joshua Rothery in the boys and the men's race, just ahead of Kaylee Lindsay. Lindsay keeping pace with the race walker ahead, sort of using Rothery as a bit of a pace bunny or a pace rabbit as he comes by.
Freshman events to come as well. Another big day here in Eugene, Hayward Field at the 2025 USATF U20 Championships and the Nike Outdoor Nationals.
Lindsay also runs, and at this younger age, you'll see them involved in running events well. She runs the 800, the 1500, the 3000, in addition to her race walking exploits. More renowned for the race walking that she has done.
So a little less than a minute behind Durkin, and Durantes in third from Elgin Sharks.
Back to your absolute leader, Johnny Jurchen. That NAIA championship that he competed in a month ago at the end of May, third weekend in May. 24:09 was his 5,000 meter time there. He was the conference champion in the conference that Concordia, Nebraska competes in. And he set his absolute personal best in winning that conference championship over 5,000 meters in 23:47.
6,400 meters in, again, he's in third for the under 20. He actually just raced his first 10-mile road race. That is running, not race walking. But shows that he can go
Back to
for sure. So this must
Talia Green.
10,000 meter race walk. Looks like an 8 walker.
And now back to Johnny Jurchen. Jurchen's a freshman, so first year at Concordia.
Coming through with the visor, wearing pink and number 14, Julia Scheffler.
And that's the interesting thing about the sort of the U20 categories. One half of the U20 kids are typically first year university, and then the back half are still in their last year of high school.
Racewalk championships, Talia Green still leading in the U20 division.
Indoors at NAIA competition, they race over 3,000 meters indoors. Jurchen finished 7th nationally in NAIA indoor championships, and again he was the conference champion representing Concordia, Nebraska. And he's opted to roll those sleeves up as he, I'm sure, has warmed up quite a bit. Again, a reminder, it's a little cooler today. Temperatures currently hovering in the mid-50s with on and off showers expected most of the day. See, there's a bit of moisture on the inside of the track and the surface reflecting that as well, the actual track surface. This is Scheffler in the girls and the women's competition. In absolute terms, she is in second place to Talia Green. We'll get some sense of the gap once we get a split here from Scheffler here at the 6,400 mark. She's about 50 seconds adrift now of Talia Green. They started off together. They were walking together for the first little while, and then Green sort of moved on from there, and the gap currently sits at about 50 seconds. But they are 1-2 absolutely, regardless of category here in this 10,000 meter race walk. Essentially 4 races going on at the same time. The USATF U20 race, the Nike Outdoor Nationals for the 2 men and women, boys and girls. Here comes Jordan, will make a pass of Scheffler here.
Currently in second through the 7,200-meter mark in 35:37.29. A big pickup on the pace for his 157.
Jordan again, pretty steady. He has been knocking out laps at around 2 minutes pretty consistently.
As we head into the last laps of this race, he's looking to
That is Rowan McDonald. McDonald, the top returnee from this race last year. He was second to Stephen Valadez, absolutely in the competition last year. And that's the situation he finds himself in this year as well. Currently sitting second to Johnny Jurchen, although he has started to make a bit of a charge. Just looking at his lap times the last couple of laps, he has started to pick up the pace a little bit. McDonald from Maine Racewalkers. Auburn, Maine is where he hails from. That second place finish that he raced here last year to Valadez, he went 49.56 to finish second in that USATF U20 championship event last year. And back to Green. That very smooth and silky walking style that she has. Another lap completed for Green. It was a 2:07 and 7,200 meters of distance covered for Green. So into the final 3K for your women's leader. If this was an overall race, Talia Green acquitting herself really well. She's currently sitting in fourth place. She only has Jurchen, McDonald, and Durantez, who is ahead of her. So Green, 7 laps to go. Jurchen has lapped her. He's got 6 to go. I'm seeing raincoats and rainwear on all the officials and volunteers down on the track, so it's an indicator that there is showers and drizzle coming down.
And here comes Jurgen on the 8K mark.
That is the 8K mark, so exactly 2K to go here for Jurchen. And another 1:59, so metronome-like at that 2 minute per 400 meters for Johnny Jurchen. Back to Green.
On the video board down the home straight, Talia Green, Oakland, California, still in front in the U20 division over women.
So Green's going to complete another lap here. This should be
6 laps to go.
6 to go for her.
She was a part of this race last
Jurchen just lapped her recently, so she's not too far behind.
She's trying to change that history here today. Last time up 206.
And here's the sort of the contrast. You can see some of these race walkers, they started out with great rhythm, but now they've slowed down substantially. The really good ones, they just keep that form rocking and rolling all the way through. Again, the form, you can see Jurchen going really well. There is Anish Patel. He is I mentioned him before, I mistakenly called him out. He is the youngest competitor in the race. He's sort of in the middle there between Jurchen and Kaylee Lindsay. Lindsay and Patel, teammates at the Elgin Sharks Track Club. Johnny Jurchen coming through on the lap. He is going to see 4 laps to go from here. So essentially 1 mile or 1,600 meters or 4 laps of the track to go for Johnny Jurchen. Talia Green going well. I'll lap one of her fellow competitors in the women's race. It's Natalie Grant that Green is about to lap from the main race walkers. And this return trip here, as I talked about earlier, for Talia Green, a bit of redemption. Frustrating disqualification for her and a non-finish at last year's event. I'm sure she's very conscious of that, so making sure she just keeps the form nice, legal, and I've not seen any flaws in it. She's probably the best looking in terms of form walker on the track right now, the race walker on the track. Jurchen's the fastest, clearly, but he has a very different style. It's, as I was saying, more military-like. He's sort of stiffer and not as smooth flowing over the ground as Talia Green is. Jurchen into the final countdown here. I'm sure he is welcoming these low numbers that he's seeing on the lap count. It'll be 3 to go for him from here, so 1,200 meters to go to the finish. Another 1:59 lap for your leader, Johnny Jurchen. Back to Green, onto the home straightaway for another time for her. Same story with Green, starting to count down those laps, focusing on the finish. This is where it all kind of comes together. The body's starting to get tired. The arms are starting to feel a little bit heavy. The legs are getting sore. The lungs are heaving a little bit. But unlike in running, where you just run free form, you have to relentlessly keep focused on the form here and not break from it. It's an interesting thing, and this is where the breakdown often comes very late in a race walking competition. This is where the warnings start to really come out, because the fatigue leads to breakdowns in the form, and this is where you might start to lift a little bit or not lock that knee out fully, and maybe there's a little bent knee going on when you do come over the top. Not that the athletes are trying to cheat at all, it's just the fatigue building up in the body towards the ends of these efforts. That's where the form does start to break a little bit. It's going to be 2 to go now. Just 800 meters of this 10,000 meter test for Johnny Jurchen, the Nebraskan. Going all the way here to Hayward Field in Eugene to contest this national championship. This is Green and Scheffler, so they're going to hook back up again. This will be a lap situation of Green going another lap up on Scheffler.
She's competing in a different race than Scheffler. Green, though, now lapping the senior from Scarsdale High School.
So this will be good for Scheffler. She'll be able to tag along here for a bit, and that's exactly what she's doing. She's just going to match pace with Talia Green. Smart work on the part of
She is now leading the U20s.
Julie Scheffler, the high schooler from
She's approaching again.
Scarsdale, New York.
800 mark. 3 laps to go now for Green, 4 laps to go for Scheffler. Their respective
So
leaders.
it's 3 to go for Green, 4 for Scheffler.
Race Walk Championship.
They're a lap separated, but joined in competition on the track. So they started off together, and they might finish together, but will be separated by exactly 400 meters.
To catch up to second, see how far he's behind, about 13 seconds behind McDonald. Meanwhile, here comes Johnny Jerkin approaching his bell lap for the under 20
As our
men.
stadium announcer has just said, this is Jordan coming on up to the most welcome sound for a distance athlete, the ringing of the bell, and the indicator that he has
Here's that bell
one circuit of the track to go, 400 meters left.
lap for the under 20 men.
The time check 46:49 with 400 meters left, and another 1:59 second lap for Jurchen. He's not under pressure, so this is good. And again, these form breaks often come deep in the race, and the warning cards come out, although I've seen no warnings flashed for Jurchen when the camera has been on him. Last time down the back straightaway.
I see Gavin Luttrell in second. He's coming up on 7,200 meters.
So this is McDonald. So McDonald currently in second to Jurchen, absolutely on the track. And Green and Scheffler. Green and Scheffler are competing in two different races. I know it's confusing. Green in the US ATF 20K Championships. Scheffler in the Nike Outdoor Nationals Championships. But it's nice to see them tag team in here. They were like this at the start, and they have come back together at the finish, albeit separated by 400 meters with a couple laps to go for them. And here he comes into the home straightaway. This is the race walker who is going to absolutely win it all here in our first event of day 2 at the Nike Outdoor Nationals. He has not broken form at all. The only thing he's done, he's rolled his sleeves up a little bit, probably got a little bit warm with the long sleeves on here, and he's coming on up to the finish line, and he is going to take the win in unofficially 48-44. Call it 48-43 going across the line. Can't believe it, Johnny Jurchen. 153 for the last lap. He seems to be in a bit disbelief of taking the win here.
But for now, your tentative winner is Johnny Jerkin, 48-43-04.
There is Green, Scheffler passing Kaylee Lindsay and Anish Patel, the two teammates from Elgin Sharks Track Club. So Green and Scheffler, they are the two best looking in terms of form on the track. Here comes Rowan McDonald, and this is going to be a finish for McDonald, and he is really struggling. He's gasping for breath, the arms flailing a little bit here as he comes on up to the line. And he was coming back actually on Jurchen, so it was a late charge. Yeah, look at the split times for McDonald. He was closing in on Jurchen, but Jurchen was so far ahead that there was no real pressure. And there across the line just moments ago, it was Durantez. So that there was a reason that McDonald was charging. He had Jurchen ahead, who he was chasing, and he had Durantez behind, who was pushing him. So it's Jurchen, McDonald, Durantez, 1, 2, 3 across the line. 48-43, the winning time for Johnny Jurchen. Rowan McDonald second, 49-59. Durantez in third, 50-14. So again, nice to see the two top contestants absolutely in the race. They are competing in two different races, but they have hooked up here for the final push to the finish line. We will see a finish from Talia Green. She's down the back straightaway. So this will be her finish. She's got 200 meters to go from here. Scheffler smartly has just tagged along with the work that Green is putting out here. Smart work on the part of Scheffler to do that. Impeccable form from Talia Green. As I mentioned at the outset and throughout the competition, a bit of redemption coming back here. Disqualified and out of the competition last year, coming through this year, and with 100 meters to go has the championship locked up. Talia Green, there's meters to go now for the Californian, who will come on through and take the overall win here in the USATF 20-kilometer race walk. There she is. She crosses the line. And Scheffler has a lap to go. So it's a win for Green in 52.25. And I hope that's a smile on her face, because it was disappointment a year ago for Green. Fist bump from Rowan McDonald. So David Durantez. Unfortunately, we didn't see much of Durantez. It's just kind of the way the race broke down, but a good effort for the third placer, David Durantez. Durantez, a returnee from last year. He was third. So that replicates, he was third last year, so that replicates the third place finish for Durantez from last year. He went 51.17 last year. So he's improved on his time from last year. They really only get maybe one chance to do these races on the track. So that is an improvement by almost a minute for David Durantez. And now we focus on Julie Scheffler. She will absolutely be the second woman across the finish line, but this will be the win for Scheffler, I believe, in the Nike Outdoor Nationals. So Scheffler, final 100-meter push to the line for her. And just like Green, impeccable race walking form, elegant, in fact, and flawless right till the end. Just flowing over the track surface here at Hayward Field. Julie Scheffler from Scarsdale, New York, crossing the line. And again, we haven't seen much of these athletes, just because where we've been focusing on the camera. This is Matthew Wambacher. Wambacher will be coming up to the finish. It's a fourth place overall for him. There is Green and Scheffler now. They tag team that nicely. They sort of helped one another early on, and then when Green sort of lapped Scheffler, she was able to tag along and help herself along. So now we're focusing on Josh Rothery and Anish Patel. This is actually a battle for places here. Big move from Patel. They're on their final lap. And Patel, the youngest competitor in the competition, competing for the Elgin Sharks. He's 14 years old, 8th grader. in Elgin, Illinois, and a great move here over the final push to the finish line. No 10,000 meter mark for him. He walked a 5,000 at the USDF Illinois Association Masters Open Track and Field Championships back first weekend in June. He went 25:51, so doubling up here and going much longer. Slapping a couple other competitors as he comes on up to the finish. And good, smooth race walking style from the young race walker from Elgin, Illinois. This will be a finish for him. He'll be in just under 57 minutes.
And rolling right in behind him for the boys 10,000 meter race walk, your winner, Joshua Rothery.
So that's Joshua Rothery from the I-270 track club in Maryland. Again, we haven't, unfortunately, just we were focusing on who is who on the track. We haven't seen a lot of these runners. Rothery from Eashamsville, Maryland. 17-year-old, 11th grade student at Urbana High School. No 10,000 meter mark for him this year, but he did that 5,000 race walk that they had at the Penn Relays back on April 26th. He went 24:54 there, doubling the distance here. And finishing up in 57:03 for Joshua Rothery. Kaylee Lindsay was across the finish line moments ago, and this is a finish for Natalie Grant from the Maine Race Walkers. She's just in at 58, over 58 minutes. .58:04 for Natalie Grant. And this is Gavin Littrell from Mondo Track Club in Oregon. And he is into he still has a few laps to go. In fact, this will be his 8,800 meter time check that he's coming up to at the finish. Still to finish, it's Littrell, who we're seeing right now, Orlando, Brody Will, and Andrew Lamb.
Two flights upcoming for these young ladies. There are a number of the second flight, really everyone in that second flight.
Program this morning that we have for you. Bob's going to join me at 9 a.m. local time, and we're going to go through the Emerging Elite 100 meter preliminaries, and then it's time for the middle school girls and boys 800 meter finals. It'll be timed finals. Emerging Elite field's always very exciting. Girls will be at the top of the hour at 9 Pacific time, boys at 9:15. And then we switch over to the 800, the two lappers coming up at 9:50 and then 10:30. And then it's the first event for the decathletes on day 2 in the boys Nike Outdoor Nationals decathlon competition. They'll start with 110 meter hurdles, discus, pole vault, javelin, and then wrap things up later on today with a 1,500 meter run. Of course, great to have Dan O'Brien in on helping out on the commentary and the call with the multi-events. His keen eye on that. We're pleased to have Dan on board helping out. It'll be Bob and Dan through the middle portion of the day doing some sprint medley relays. The decathlon hurdles competition and heptathlon also coming up, the final event for the girls heptathlon, the 800 meters. They'll start their day with the long jump, the javelin, and then finish up with the 800. Bob and I will be back in the early part of the afternoon with the 2,000 meter steeplechase championship races in the Nike Outdoor Nationals. And we kind of roll from there with the rest of the day. It is a busy day here on day 2 at the 2025 Nike Outdoor Nationals Championship. Welcome everyone, wherever you may be. Coffee in hand if it's early in the morning for you. It's coming up to 11:30 Eastern time. Getting ready for lunch on the East Coast. Again, not as nice a day today. Yesterday was absolutely perfect. Couldn't ask for a better day. We're expecting on and off showers throughout the day and cooler temperatures here in Eugene on day 2. And then we've got the weekend as well coming up. This is Sophia Orlando from Bohemia, New York.
1 hour, 2 minutes, 8 seconds, 0.04 through 9,200. 2:46.25 for that last split. 7-second pickup from his last couple of laps.
Orlando coming up to her 9,200 meter split. She hails from Bohemia, New York. 14-year-old 8th grader at Connetquot High School. And this is by far the longest distance that she's ever sort of competed in race walking competition. The longest she's done previously, at least in terms of information that we can find, is a number of 1,500 meter race walks. Her personal best for that particular distance came at the Section 1A Championships meet. She went 7:48 for 1,500 meters, finished 4th a month ago, the 28th. This is Luttrell. He's into the home straightaway. This should be the bell for Luttrell, if my quick math is correct.
And there's Gavin Luttrell, Mondo Track Club Oregon, coming up on 1 lap to go.
So they're confirmed by the stadium announcer. Indeed, it is 1 lap to go for the local, Gavin Luttrell from Summit High School in Oregon, 16-year-old in 10th grade.
2:46.09, almost identical to his last lap. Let's see what he can do for a close.
So less than 400 meters to go for Luttrell. No 10,000 meter mark for him. His personal best over 3,000 meters, 9:44. That came on April the 9th this year at the Summit Ridgeview Dual track meet. He won that particular competition, setting his personal best over 3K, 9 minutes and 44 seconds. Orlando now. Should be her bell lap. 400 meters to go, a little check of the watch. Andrew Lamb, who she's just passing. He is still a few laps down. So that should be 1 to go now for Orlando. Luttrell and Orlando both now into their final circuit at Hayward Field. We just saw Luttrell pass, and Orlando now into her final lap. There's Luttrell with less than 150 meters to go. He just passed the steeplechase water jump pit, which is sort of the indicator of 150 to go, right at the sort of peak of the curve inside water jump here at Hayward Field. Now 100 meters to go for Gavin Luttrell.
And Brody Will from Vancouver, Washington, currently in third for the boys 10,000 coming through.
So this should be a finish for Luttrell. As I mentioned, trying to hold that form all the way through to the finish. It's tempting to start to maybe run a little bit, but there he is across the finish line. A finish for Luttrell, 107.27 for the Oregonian. And now he can sort of shake the legs out and run if he wants. 200 to go now for Sophia Orlando. Orlando, again, she's just not meaning to be critical, but she's sort of struggled with form throughout the competition. Earlier on, she had a much higher turnover, and I saw her trying to modify her technique a little bit to compensate for potentially some fatigue or maybe cramping that was setting in. She has had to make some modifications to sort of keep it going. Sophia Orlando now into the home straightaway. Less than 100 meters to go for the New Yorker. This will be a finish for her when she gets to the finish, and there'll be a welcome feeling because now they can break that form. They've had to sort of constrain themselves to this technique for an hour, and coming up to the line. This is the 1 mile start line, and then across the line for Bohemia, New York, Sophia Orlando. There she is. She's maybe cramping up. She's struggling with cramps. 109 at the time for Sophia Orlando. This is Brody Will. Not seeing much of him again, just owing to where the camera was focusing. Some of the contestants we've not seen that much of throughout the duration of the competition. This should be the 9,200 meter split for Will when he gets to the finish line, so into the final kilometer for him. He's a senior in high school. Does the race walk, does the 2,000 meter steeplechase as well. Not a bad time, 6:43 for this year in the 2,000 meter steeplechase. Hudson's Bay High School in Vancouver, Washington. Of course, Vancouver, Washington, sometimes confused with the other Vancouver in the Pacific Northwest, the much larger Vancouver, British Columbia in Canada, just to the north. Andrew Lamb from Bangor, Maryland. Back to Will. They're the final two contestants on the track. As I mentioned, once we wrap this up and they finish, we should be swinging almost immediately into the emerging elite 100-meter preliminary rounds. Bob will join me for the call on those when we do get there. Scheduled to start at the top of the hour in 15 minutes time if you're clock watching.
Now is 8:45. We've already got one field event underway. The girls emerging pole vault taking place on the infield. Pretty soon on the hammer pit, we'll have the emerging elite discus getting set to begin in about 15 minutes. Here on the infield, the emerging elite girls long jump will also begin.
We did see girls pole vault warming up when the race walking was going on. That is just getting underway. And the pole vaulters probably not too happy about the wet conditions. If there's two events that probably are the most demanding in track and field when it's a little wet and slick, would be the pole vault and potentially hurdles competition. But we are underway in that girls pole vault, opening height 3 meters 13.
And it's been a great race walk battle here this morning, and these competitors started at 7:30 a.m. Johnny Jerkin claimed the title in the U20 Men's Championship. Unofficially, again, subject to officials' review. That is your winner at the moment, Jerkin in 48 minutes 43 seconds. Roy McDonald and Maine Race Walkers was second in that race.
So this will be a finish for Will. He's just coming up to the 200 meters to go mark. There's the pole vault competition going on the back straightaway.
Green winning that championship, Julie Scheffler of Scarsdale, New York, winning the girls Nike Outdoor National title. Joshua Rothery of Maryland across the girls.
200 to go for Will.
Rothery finishing 57 minutes.
Pole vault bags there. Traveled from all over the place. Occasionally when you're at oversized luggage at the airport or the larger airports, you sometimes see pole vault bags for top pole vault competitors waiting there to be picked up or having been dropped off to be shipped somewhere. Brody Will now. Less than 150 meters to go now for the Vancouver, Washington-based race walker. Also competes in running events for his high school. 3,200 meters, the steeplechase, as I mentioned, not a bad time he's running the steeplechase, so great range if he's doing the race walk, steeplechase 3,200 and the 1,500. So Will coming up to a finish for him, just meters to go. It'll be a welcome feeling, as it was for the other walkers. He's had to confirm and confine himself to this rigid technique, and it's a relief to just sort of stop, and there he is. Handshake as he comes off the track. Congratulatory fist bumps and high fives from some of the other competitors. Rowan McDonald, who finished second, the first to reach out and congratulate him. Final competitor on the track. This is Andrew Lamb, and when Lamb comes through on the lap here, this should be one to go for Lamb. So one final 400-meter circuit of Hayward Field for Andrew Lamb. It's been a good start to the day. Kicking things off here with the race walk competition. Johnny Jurchin winning the kickoff event here on day 2, 48-43. It was Talia Green winning the girls and the women's side of things, 52-25. Total of 13 who will have finished the 10,000 meters, the longest event contested here at the Nike Outdoor Nationals. We are in a pause on the rain. I'm just checking the weather. It's supposed to potentially start up again in about an hour's time. Showers on and off from about 10 a.m. local time through to the latter part of the afternoon. See a bit of slickness on the inside concrete portion of the track. There was some rain coming down when we started the 10,000 meter race walk over an hour ago. It is abated, and now we're in a sort of a dry time, but the rain is expected to return. So Andrew Lamb now from Bangor, Maine, coming on up to the finish. He will be the final finisher of the race walk competition. First championship event of day 2 for the 2025 Nike Outdoor Nationals.
Andrew Lamb, the junior from Bangor, Maine, finishing this one out.
He has the honor of wearing lucky number 13. And there he goes across the line, a little lean in for style points at the finish.